Okay, welcome everyone to our February meeting of the West Wimmera Shire Council. If you all please be standing. Thank you. David, if you could please read the acknowledgement and the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The West Wimmera Shire Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, pays respect to the elders past, present and emerging. Let's pray. Almighty God, we humbly ask your blessing upon this council. Guide and prosper our decisions to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of West Wimmera Shire. Amen.
Friendly, you got the RFA book.
Item 4.1, have we received any apologies? No leave of absence. 4.3, does anyone have any conflicts of interest they need to declare? Councillor Hobbs, you know which item?
Yes.
15.2.
15.2.
13.1.
13.1, thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll declare a conflict on 14.3, the CEO employment and remuneration policy.
Okay, thank you. Just a reminder, if anyone else has any to declare them during the meeting, please. Item 5, questions from the gallery. 5.1, written questions. Have we received any written questions? 5.2, verbal questions without notice.
Move the recommendation.
Recommendation is that we suspend standing orders. Is anyone prepared to second that? Seconded by Councillor Houlihan. All in favour? That is carried. Now, we have one member in the gallery. Is the member of the gallery like to ask us a question?
Yes, I will make a few comments or a question.
Yeah, well, you've been offered enough. I shouldn't have to tell you all the rules, but just by a reminder, you're allowed 2 questions and they need to be questions, and we're not here to debate and fight. So feel free to ask us 2 questions and I'll hand over to you then, Lockie. If you could just say your name and where you're from, please, for the minutes.
Right.
Yep.
Do I have to stand?
No, you don't have to. No.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. My biggest query is, why is it that over the past 5 or 6 years, fire control in Harrow has not been attended to? Now, there is a section of the town there, inside the town boundary, which is, to my opinion, a fire hazard. It's on the northeastern side of the town, between the road that comes from Coleraine and the road that goes to Douglas. There's a canoe tree in there, which would indicate that possibly for over the last 300 or 400 years, the Indigenous people have used that as a gathering place, which they, as I can understand, have got documentation to say that it was known as Burum Buart. And at the present time, I have made queries to the Country Fire Authority, who said that, or the Lands Department, as I'll call it, and there's been no work done on it. If a fire started in that area, the whole town would be burnt out. We saw what happened at Natamuck the other day, and I don't want to see that happen. I believe that if it is inspected and program work between all organisations interested, and I'm referring to your Aboriginal Affairs, your Lands Department, your catchment management and council, that area could be turned into quite an attractive park where people would be able to come and fish, canoe, and we would also be able to harvest water there. Now, there's over that particular flat, there's several old waterways which are now sandbars. If those sandbars are removed, I would think that for every 100 cubic metres of sand you took out, you would get something like somewhere around 90 cubic metres of water in replacement. I would like to see something done about it, and I come to you asking, is there anything that can be done, or is there anything you're prepared to do? Thank you.
Thank you, Lockie. Again, we'd probably need to identify which parcel of land exactly it is and who the owners of it are.
This I am unable to find out precisely from the department at the present time.
Okay.
We can take it on that.
Yeah, well, we can take that part on notice then to try and work it out. But I totally agree. Not enough work has been done around our towns in terms of fire risk. I know talking to the Mayor of Horsham, just how much frustration the community at Nanamuck felt that they never cleaned that creek up. And even though they were warned multiple times, the Department of Environment just would not touch it, would not do it. And I know as a CFA member myself and a volunteer, we as a CFA are not even allowed to go out and do these burns pre-season anymore. And it's causing a lot of anxiety in the community. And I totally agree with you. More needs to be done. Again, if we can find out whose parcel land this is, and like you said, I know you're calling for support from a lot of the members of the community and as well as all the government agencies and other members, other interested parties. And if you can get a group of people together who are willing to do that control, that'd be fantastic. Again, the shop can help try and get those people together and we can advocate on your behalf on a lot of these things. That's fine. Removing sand from the watercourse, that is a little bit problematic. I'm sure you can imagine that is a CMA matter.
It is being done, and it has been done with quite good effect there around Durham.
Okay. Yep.
I was at a meeting of the Glenelg River Environmental Water Advisory Group last year, 12 months ago, and they took us out to a farm at Durham.
Yeah.
And they've taken thousands of metres of sand out of it. And from what I could see of the site, it was, just a sandbar, and it's been taken down to about 10 or 15 feet of water.
Well, okay. Well, I would suggest the CMA are actively looking at these options then. So I imagine we can contact them and see if they will have a look at this site as well then.
I might also add that at the present time I have obtained a position on the advisory group for the water advisory on the
with the CMA.
Environmental flows.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Tom?
I just fully support the point Lockie raised here first up in relation to what we used to be able to do, how we did it, burn-offs and how successful we are. Now, there's no burn-offs done. I live on the top road in Harrow. That used to be burnt from one end to the other. No other road in Harrow has been burnt in this area, maybe in this shire.
Or any other shire.
Or any other shire. So I fully support what Lockie's saying. We've got to get something going in amongst these government bodies, and there's probably 3 or 4 of them, and get back to doing fire caution protection work, or else there's only one reason Harrow wasn't burnt out today and Nanamuck was burnt out. And that's because we were lucky. Fire wasn't in our area, because we would have just gone. The place would have exploded. So, it'll be put on our books that we try and find out who the bodies are that we've got to get permission from to go back to burning and making our living safer. And when I say go back to burning, I'm talking in March, April, May, June. None of this burning in November, December, none of that rubbish. That's too dangerous. But if we could go back to the burning in March, April, May, June. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I think it's only fair. State government wants to hit us up for $5 million in fire service levy. They should at least let us live a little bit more safely than that, because we know we don't get the money back. So, okay, Lockie, do you have any further questions?
Not really further questions, but I will add to it. I believe that our four, well, I won't call them forebears, but the people that were here before white man come here, they used to burn it as a coal burn regularly. It might be 5 years, might be 10 years, but it stopped the fire.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to get back to that. And I think this is an excellent site to show that strategy.
Yeah, I think coordinating between the CFA and whoever the landowners there may be, and then all the various departments, I think hopefully they will see some common sense and at least trial it, and certainly make people a lot more comfortable knowing that the town was fire safe in that direction at least. Yeah. Yep, Tom.
And like you said, the coal burns, that's what I've been talking about. The big advantage of coal burns is you don't destroy the vegetation and you don't destroy the animal life. Because they're on slow burning, coal burning, they're able to get out and the vegetation is able to recover. Thank you.
Do you have any comment on that from an emergency management perspective?
Harrow is probably the most bushfire prone town in West Wimmera. So it's got its challenges.
Yeah.
That's about slope and everything else.
Yeah, there's Jody.
I would say very, very slowly or backed up by or running with minimate with a swamp that we are not allowed to even touch and maintain. That's an absolute fire hazard. I'm hearing you, Lockie. It's a disgrace that things are not allowed to be managed better.
Well, even Apsley is an absolute.
It's right around.
And we know the CFA there every year used to always be able to control that, and that's been taken away from them now.
You know, a match or a lightning strike in the wrong spot, anyone would be gone. It's terrible.
Yeah, even here in Eden, talking to people at the Henley on Saturday, they see it and they recognise the risk that is still there as well. Yeah. Thank you, Lockie. You've opened a can of worms for us anyway, but we'll follow up for you on that one to find out where the parcel land is and what action we can actually do.
It's down here near the bridge. Is that what
Yeah, just north of the bridge. I'm thinking it's just north of the bridge at Harrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the bridge, well, you might as well say from the back of the police station through to where the old lands department used to be.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. So right up through there. Yeah. Thank you, Lockie.
Bear in mind that canoe tree is in that particular position too.
Yeah, and it'd be, we're not talking about just going in there and burning everything. That's for sure. So no. Right, is anyone prepared to resume standing orders?
To resume standing orders.
Seconded by Councillor Pretlove. All in favour? That is carried.
Can we have the aircon on? Or not? I'll put my jumper on.
Aircon off.
I've got a jumper.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't feeling warm or cold. Item 6 on the agenda is the delegates' reports. Over the last month, we've had a few meetings. We had the Australia Day Awards, which I was able to get to Coniva and Edenhope for. Both were well attended events. It was good to see a number of people turn out at Edenhope, especially when it was such a hot day and the middle of the day. Special thanks to our local MP, Emma Keeley, for coming along to that and being the ambassador for the day for Edenhope. We had the 3 awards go there in Edenhope for the day, so we're quite busy with the motorcycle club, the Edenhope Lions, as well as the Citizen of the Year to Kath McDonald. So congratulations to all those groups and to Kath. Again, it is a fantastic thing to be a part of Australia Day, and it's really good to celebrate it, and it's really good to see people supporting it. So as long as they keep supporting it, we'll keep doing it. So it's a fantastic thing. The rest of them we can just take as read. Councillor Hobbs.
Yes, so thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did go to England for 4 weeks. You know, I was able to continue to work remotely, but I did notice an incredible amount of potholes in the UK, just as, you know, we've got. And yeah, I also noticed that rubbish pickup is only once every 3 weeks, and that toilets are $2 a visit. So I do wonder how some of that would go in our areas. I did visit the House of Parliament, and also next door to my town is actually the beginnings of cooperatives. So I have put together some videos and they're all on my socials. The events, unfortunately, the whip cracking event, Hanley on Lake Wallace, Lake Charlie, I haven't been able to attend, but I did hear good reports from, you know, all of the whip cracking and Hanley. There looks to be some really good floats there. I have resumed the councillor catch-ups, which for 2026, and the other exciting news is that I've been accepted on the Australian Rural Leadership. It's a 10-month program that I'm just beginning, and I've been accepted onto the National Mentoring Initiative for that.
Thank you, Councillor Hobbs. Councillor Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Basically as read, except perhaps just to make a couple of comments about the Rail Freight Alliance meeting I attended in Melbourne on Friday, as well as having an excellent speaker who was talking about intermodal hubs, and the main one that his company has built north of Melbourne, which is a privately owned venture. Rail Freight Alliance has also completed a policy statement. It's quite a significant publication that I believe is very timely, particularly with the forthcoming state elections. This document is a publicly available document, but it will also be sent out to each of the councils, CEOs and directors, but also to all the potential candidates who will be standing for state election, to familiarise themselves with the aims and aspirations and the policy positions that Rail Freight Alliance has held. I should note that Rail Freight Alliance is a member, I think, of 10 or 11 shires. Correct me if I'm not right. More than that.
Could be 18.
Could be 18. Probably if I read the front page, it would tell me. And it's a very powerful lobby that we as councillors and councils use to make government aware of the need to continue to support the rail freight industry, and to continue to question the appropriateness, suitability and financial viability of road versus rail. The document, it's great, it's quite thick, it's a very comprehensive document, and it is available if anyone is interested. Thank you. Yours, Brendan, bedtime reading.
Thank you.
24 councils.
24 councils, thank you. So that's a third of the councils in Victoria, give or take 1 or 2. So it's a significant representative body.
Thank you, Councillor Hicks. Councillor Pritlove.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too would like to congratulate Kath McDonald of being the West Wimmera Shire Council Citizen of the Year. Kath's another, I guess, very highly regarded citizen that has been recognised in our Shire. So yes, congratulations to Kath. and to our two community groups, the Eden Hope Lions Club being our community group of the year and the Eden Hope Motorcycle Club, the event of the year. I had the privilege to go into Goroke on Australia Day, where I presented our West Wimmera Shire Council Young Citizen of the Year, being Lucinda Smith. So congratulations to Lucinda as well. It was a really, really good event in Goroke. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the best I've been to. We had the Australia Day ambassador was Darren Stent. It was an incredible story, just how he become a friend of Ken Batson's by basically poaching a dam and this and that years ago. And it was just how they ran into each other and how they became friends, and how Ken, the president of the Lions Club, actually brought Darren to West Wimmera. But he just spoke about his journey being a immigrant, or his family, to Australia, and how he's served for Australia on numerous times, and his experiences and commitment to Australia and migration, and how he's made Australia his home. So he was a paramedic as well, and his story was just really, really interesting. And on such a super, super hot day, I think it was it was expected 42 that day here. It was just beautiful in the street there with the Lions Club barbecue area and the beautiful ash tree. We had Poppy Moyle Reid was singing, and it was fantastic. There would have been at least 50 people there of the community, which you wouldn't expect with a late harvest and the heat and, a lot of people at the beach. But it really was one of the best I've been to. It was a fantastic day. So thank you to Ken and the Lions Club for putting on such a good morning. And it's a really good part of what we do as councillors when you get to, you attend events like that. And then on Saturday, I went to the Henley on Lake Wallace, and again, good crowd, and I really enjoyed my few hours there. So it was good to get to see a few of the locals. Didn't get there for the parade, but I've seen a fair bit of that on Facebook, and it looks like the whole community really pulled together again and did a really, really good job. So thank you, and that's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pretloff. Councillor Houlihan.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Australia Day, I went to Harrow. Our guest speaker was Alan Perry, our former policeman for the last 10 years and a policeman of over 50 years experience. Alan has since retired, and a big loss to our town, big loss. I've known Alan for 50 years, probably more actually. I was playing football at Casterton when he was running around down there. No, that's not, when he was a young fellow running around, 10-year-old, 12-year-old. We've just been so lucky to have a policeman in Harrow for the last 10 years with Alan's standing in life. And the town will miss him simply on his volunteering basis. There was a working bee there and he wasn't in his blueies, he'd be there. My treasurer at the Recreation Reserve for 5 years, and he's still treasurer there. So, to the Johnny Muller Committee for running the day, it was excellent. And as Jodie's just said, it was hot. Well, we had the river there and the kids were just in and out of it all day. It was a very good day. To the people that ran it, well done. While it could have been a very uncomfortable day, it was a beautiful day, even with the heat. On Saturday, I was here in Eastgate for the Henley, the procession. I know people were saying, oh, the crowd wasn't there like it used to be, but neither's the population in our area like it used to be. You go out to Cadnock and you look at the soldier settlement houses there, and 10 families there in soldier settlement houses, probably 2, 3 now. But, and once again, to the volunteers that run Henley and have over my lifetime, I haven't backed off one little bit. And it was excellent here. Went down to the foreshore, and the food vans, the little cars they had, the marching band, excellent. Really, really well done. These things cost people a lot of money as volunteers to run. But nobody's backed off, and it was well done. So to the people of Edenhope here on Saturday, I say thank you and well done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Houlihan. Item 7, condolences. I don't believe we have any condolences. Item 8, confirmation of the previous minutes.
I'm happy to move 8.1 and 8.2.
We can move them on block. Is anyone prepared to second that? Seconded by Councillor Pretlove. Any discussion required? If not, all in favour, that is carried. We have no business arising. We've received no notice of motions. We have 2 lots of councillor forum records.
I'm happy to move 11.1 or 11.2.
So moved. Is anyone prepared to second? Councillor Hobbs. Any discussion required? If not, all in favour, that is carried. Have we received any deputations or petitions?
None, Mr. Mayor.
If not, we'll move to 13.1. Director Burns, you've indicated that conflict. Thirteen point one, the early years service delivery, kindergarten and childcare operations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think the report speaks for itself, but what we basically ask council today is to note the current operational context and challenges associated with the council managed kindergarten and childcare services. We specifically ask council to endorse the continuation of council operated kindergarten and childcare services in a short to medium term. So this will basically mean that we have the budget that will in the near future come to council, that there will be provision in that budget to continue with the service. And then also very importantly for council to support officers to continually review partnership opportunities with not-for-profit early years providers and neighbouring councils to strengthen service sustainability and delivery, including opportunities specific to Garauk. I think the services in Garauk was definitely identified as an area where we believe we should focus. So that's the officer's recommendation.
Are there any questions? Is anyone prepared to move?
I'm happy to move the officer recommendations as presented.
It's moved. Is anyone prepared to second? Seconded by Councillor Hobbs. Does the mover wish to speak?
Just very briefly, if I may, Mr. Mayor, I note the detailed background and comments presented by the officer. I think it's important for the community to understand that council is prepared and supporting a continuation to the services in the short to medium term, but council will continue to monitor and review opportunities as they may be presented, and also keeping a close eye on any legislative changes that may come through both the federal and state government systems. But I'm hoping that most of the community will be grateful that the services will continue in its present form into the foreseeable future. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Second, wish to speak?
Yes, so I did speak to people in both the north and the south of the Shire in regards to this. Everyone was very happy / relieved to see that, you know, this offers a recommendation. There was a number of comments that people were very happy with the service at present. Certainly happy with the recommendations. I feel the report is extremely thorough, and thank you to Dolphin and staff and the amount of work that has gone into preparing this.
Anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion?
I will speak for the motion. I just think this is just a direction. It just gives us, you know, just a bit of clarity, I suppose, and keeps by bringing this, you know, having this come up, just that we are continually looking at opportunities, and the fact that we put specific to Gorote, which you know, it just means that if there is something, we can be, I guess, just looking and evaluating as to what direction the council needs to take in the future to really give the best outcome right across the Shire. So I am supportive of this. We have to adapt where we need to and be aware of what's going on and what opportunities are there. Thank you.
Else wish to speak for or against? Mr. Mover, wish to sum up?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We'll put it to the vote then. All in favour, and that is carried. Move to item, I'll better get the director
Back in.
back in. Just for your information, that motion was passed as recommended. Item 14.1, the instrument of delegations under the Planning and Environment Act.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So there's been some updates to the Active Planning and Environment Act, and subsequently we are updating our delegations. So the delegations are attached to the agenda as recommended.
That is probably all we need to discuss on it. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm happy to move the opposite recommendations.
So moved. Is anyone prepared to second? Seconded by Councillor Thretlove. It was a three-way draw. Councillor Thretlove. Do we need to discuss this matter at all?
No, I don't think, just to re-emphasise that it's really a bureaucratic update on an existing policy. It's an essential that we do these things, but the changes are very modest and certainly don't detract from the overall sentiment within the instrument of delegations. Thank you.
Seconded, not to speak at all.
No, I need to support what Councillor Hicks has just mentioned. Thank you.
Any further discussion? If not, we'll put the matter to the vote. All in favour? That is carried. Move to 14.2, the Audit and Risk Committee meeting draft minutes.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Take the report as read for the meeting held on the 9th of December 2020.
And this also includes the biannual report as well.
Yes.
This one. Are there any questions on this topic? Anyone prepared to move the motion? Moved by Councillor Thretlove.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Hicks. Who wish to speak?
I don't think so. I think that it just all seems like a while ago, but I was in those meetings and I'm happy to support and move the recommendation. Thank you.
Second, wish to speak?
Yeah, just briefly to say that council, I think in general, appreciate the professional input and the oversight that the members of the audit and risk committee provide to council. Their services are essential to give us clarity and direction on many aspects, and perhaps our thanks can be passed back both to the chairman and the other ex officio members.
Anyone else wish to speak? I'll just quickly add, as a member of the committee, we are fortunate to have very talented members who are part of that committee, and they do provide a lot of great guidance and advice. So we thank them for that. And the report does lay out a lot of the things where the council is heading in the right direction. So we thank them for the report. No one else wishes to speak. We'll put it to the vote. All in favour? That is carried.
Yes, Tim, we're galloping through the agenda.
We are on a roll here.
Breathless with the velocity.
We'll move to item 14.3. Mr. CEO, you've indicated a conflict of interest. This is the CEO employment and remuneration policy.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So this policy is just up for review, just based on its timeline. Under the Act, obviously, the council is obligated or required to appoint a CEO. Therefore, this policy goes somewhat to service the requirement under the Act. A good policy is obviously will have an open and transparent process for recruiting a CEO. There's only minor changes to this version of policy. Minor changes are just clearing up some responsibilities between members of CMAC, so that is the committee that assists the performance and recruitment of the CEO. Reference to external or West River Shire Council policies, and just clearing up some delegations or in line with some delegation instruments.
Are there any questions?
I'm happy to move the officer recommendations. Looking forward to getting laryngitis one day too.
Seconded by Councillor Houlihan. Does the mover wish to speak?
No, merely to say that this really is another piece of bureaucratic paperwork that we need to revisit from time to time to update the policy. And certainly there are no significant or substantive changes to the old policy. It's merely an update, and it is a requirement that these are regularly reviewed. So thank you to all who prepared the review.
Seconded wish to speak?
Thank you to those who have organised that CMAC.
Anyone else wish to speak? We'll sum up. No, we'll put it to the vote. All in favour? That is carried.
David back.
Please find Mr. CEO.
It's slow, huh?
It's what you got for.
To 14.4, the council expenses policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So again, this is another policy that's up for review. The council expense policy basically sets out the framework for which councillors can be reimbursed or expenses will be covered for their work as councillors. There was only minor changes. Again, we did expand, or for the purpose of clarity, list Municipal Association Victoria and Rural Council Victoria meetings or their annual meeting as council business or official council business. Other than that, again, we've just cleared up some definitions and references to external policies such as remuneration tribunal findings. But in essence, the policy is very much consistent with the previous version.
Are there any questions?
I'm on a roll. I might as well move the officer recommendations.
Moved. Anyone prepared the second? Seconded by Councillor Pretlove. Does move wish to speak?
Just briefly to say that these rates and allowances are not predetermined by council itself, that many of them are legislated by higher authorities, whether it's the ATO, whether it's the federal government, other bodies, or with the state government. And we are obliged to accept their rates and allowances, and this policy details that. It's also another piece of bureaucratic policy requirement that we review from time to time, and that's about it.
The seconder wish to speak?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just going to say, I think it's extremely conservative compared to other councils. Happy to support it, but I think, you know, for the general public's sake of point of view, they need to understand that we're only getting the travel allowances based on what is deemed an official business.
I'll just also quickly add that it is very, very conservative. We don't get to fly to New York for a 2-hour meeting, so it's I think this one meets community expectations. It really just says it's fine if you do have to do a council job, and that's what your expectations is from your councillors. But other than that, it's not on. So I can fully support this policy. So, does the mover wish to sum up?
No, thank you very much.
Put it to the vote then. All in favour? That is carried. Move to 14.5, the human rights policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So there's been a few comments around the table about bureaucratic process. This policy could certainly be seen as probably over bureaucratic. As a council, we are enthusiastic about our responsibility to uphold human rights, particularly for our staff, community members and councillors. Australia, as a Commonwealth, don't have a Human Rights Act. Victoria do have a Human Rights Charter that is in legislation. We have a number of other legislative requirements, such as equal opportunity, OH&S, anti-discrimination, that kind of feed into this framework. You could probably argue, and certainly one that the officers tossed up, whether this was overkill in terms of the requirement to have this policy. We have decided to keep it a recommendation to keep this policy at this stage, certainly with the thought down the track to see whether it's necessary. We will obviously leave that in your hands to make a decision whether you feel it is necessary. There is, again, other avenues to uphold good human rights. Like I said, as previously mentioned, equal opportunity, OH&S, amongst others, anti-discrimination. We have open and transparent recruitment, services are equal and open to all. But at this stage, the recommendation is to keep the policy. In terms of updates, very consistent with the previous version.
Anyone have any questions? You have a question?
Dalton, so, you know, obviously this is an extra policy for us to have. I guess, or is it really designed to be an overarching in case something just doesn't fit in somewhere else, or when, you know, is it something that we'll refer back to a bit, do you think?
No, I think we would refer to legislation again. Occupational health and safety, equal opportunity, and discrimination is where we would likely run a lens over and refer to anything. I think this is probably more of an optics or a cultural piece in terms of we are committed to human rights within the organisation, and now our Shire, I don't know, that provides a lot of context for our work.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I can maybe just add that it is actually an existing policy that was adopted by council a few years ago. But as the same with all our policies, there's normally a period of say 3 or 4 years that it sort of has to be reviewed, and this one just came up for review. So it's really just adopting the same policy that we actually already had on the books.
Any further questions?
I'm happy to move the officer recommendation.
So moved. Seconded by Councillor Pretlow. Any discussion required?
Just briefly, I think it's absolutely essential that council, as it has in the past and will in the future, uphold all the human rights principles, whether they're state, federal or internationally legislated and promoted policies. I enjoyed your modesty, Dalton, by saying it's perhaps bureaucratic overkill, but I don't think it hurts to have a specific policy that's been endorsed by this council that will lay within the other legislative documents that support the rights of all humans to exist in a reasonable and humane way.
Second wish to speak?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Shall we put it to the vote? All in favour? That is carried.
How are we going for time?
Sure, we.
3 o'clock.
Oh my God, we should.
Move to 15.1, the infrastructure development works, the draft Kaniva structure plan along with the background reports.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Purpose of this report is to present to council a draft Kaniva structure plan, and there is an associated Kaniva background report that goes with that. This is part of a body of work that's been been underway for a number of years. With funding from the Planning Hub, we've been able to attract funding to develop settlement strategies for West Wimmera, and it's been focused on Kaniva first. First step was the development of a settlement, a small towns plan as part of the settlement strategy. Next step is the draft structure plan for Kaniva, and ultimately this will be out for consultation before being brought back to council for your consideration for adoption. This is a step that will potentially lead into new planning zones for the town, and that will guide development for residential development and township boundaries, and where commercial areas are, where industrial areas are, where transport corridors go and so forth. So without this plan, it's very unlikely council could ever get a planning rezoning through the minister, through their processes. So it is intended that if we complete this work for Kaniva, we will then look for funding for the other towns in West Wimmera Shire and do the same process. So the recommendation is to endorse the draft for its release for public consultation.
Are there any questions?
I'm happy to move the officer recommendations with the word change as presented to say that council endorses the draft Kaniva structural plan, background report and the draft Kaniva structure plan, and that it be released for consultation with the community.
Anyone prepared to second that? Second by Councillor Hobbs. Let's move it to speak.
Just again, fairly briefly, I hope that these two documents are the result of a great deal of behind the scenes work funded by external funds from the Department of Transport and Planning. This report has focused on Kaniva only because we got specific funding to do Kaniva, but the intention is that the other major townships within the Shire will in time receive funding support and can also enjoy the benefits of having such detailed plans presented. As the Director has pointed out, these types of documents are becoming more and more imperative to ensure or to support funding applications for future work. And as I said, both documents are very detailed, very important. And I think that we are all looking forward to comments coming back from the community when these documents will be released for public consultation in the next few days. Thank you.
Second, I wish to speak.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who's been involved in putting this report together. There has been a lot of work. I do hope that people will read it and not be put off by the length of the document. There is quite a bit of duplication in the document anyway, so it's not quite as big as what people think. I'll certainly be very interested to hear any feedback from, what other people think about it. I think it's an interesting read, and I think anything that removes red tape is a good thing.
Anyone else wish to speak? No? Well, I just want to add, sorry, I just want to say a couple of things as well. You hear it from people all the time, how much trouble they have trying to get planning permits and to go through the planning process. What we're dealing with here is trying to deal with the planning department to update our planning scheme, and suddenly that's actually 10 times harder again. It's the amount of work and the amount of effort that has to go into this is absolutely phenomenal. The end result will hopefully mean that we'll have an easier planning process, and it will flow on to all our towns in our shire. It's not just we're doing one and we're walking away. It's all too hard. We are intending to do the whole lot. It's just a matter of lining up all the pieces to make it happen that way. And that involves getting flood studies done and getting other parts and pieces done. And it's just extremely complicated. I can say in my 5 years of council, we've dealt with this the whole time. And it feels like it's no closer to the end. So, but anyway, we're just going to keep pushing on. It would be nice if the minister could just take a read of this and by a stroke of a pen just solve all our problems, but unfortunately they don't seem to do that. Otherwise, no, I fully endorse where we're heading with this, and we thank all the staff for their work involved. Does the mover wish to sum up?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Put it to the vote then, all in favour. That is carried. Move to 15.2, the Tiny Town Round 3 funding applications. Councillor Hobbs, you indicated conflict.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to seek council approval and note that we're intending to apply for 3 different projects in this round 3 of Tiny Towns funding. Tiny Towns funding is a program by Victorian Government spread over 4 years. It's available, the funding's available in communities of up to 5,000 people, generally by postcode, and for projects up to about $50,000. If it is a council submitted application, the funding ratio is 3 to 1. So we have to contribute part of that, or we have to contribute funds. The 3 different proposed projects are a new shelter in the park here at Lake Wallace in Edenhope as part of a suggestion through the innovation platform for a park run shelter at their start finish line. That will require a contribution of council of $3,319.68. The second project is an upgrade to the amenities facilities in Coniva Town Hall. That's been scoped up and estimated cost is 36.5, so we're required to put in 9,125. And the third project is an upgrade of the Apsley Hall facility, which is also council owned in the township of Apsley. Total project value of 65,812, so a contribution required of 11,453. The Apsley community is also contributing some money to that project as well.
Very good. Any questions? Councillor Fretloff?
Brendan, so each of these three will go through as 3 separate applications?
To be put in a separate.
Yeah. And just to clarify, the Apsley Hall project upgrade is for the amenities or the,
It's of the, initially it was meant to target the amenities. However, to bring the amenities up to standard, we have to make sure the accessibility requirements meet standard first. So it's more pivoted across to an upgrade of the accessibility, and also that's also triggered asbestos removal and changing some of the partitions and things. It's a step one of a future amenity upgrade, but get the accessibility stuff right first.
yeah.
Councillor Fretloff?
I'm happy to move the officer recommendation. You can't have it all to yourself.
You seconding?
No, I want to ask a question.
Oh, that's okay, you
You
can.
can ask a question if you like.
I just had to get him for him.
Is the Apsley Hall owned by the West Wimmera Shire?
Yes.
And the Caniva Hall is owned by the West Wimmera Shire?
And the Edenhope Community Hub.
Mm.
Thank you.
And the Perone Hall and the bloody
Ding, 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 and I'm happy to second.
Kimbound and Malcolm.
You are,
You are? No,
No, not you are.
no, there's no
Douglas.
new upper hall now. It's gone.
Anyway, that's fine.
Mm.
Did anyone second that?
Yeah, me.
Seconded by Councillor X, thank you. Does the mover wish to speak?
Look, I just think this is one of those things that, you know, anything that pops up that's on our radar to improve our facilities across the Shire, I think, you know, it's really important that we do our best to bring in some funding and try and get some external money to do what we can to keep particularly the council-owned assets in as good a working order as possible, and also, you know, just helping out around the community. So I'm fully supportive of all 3 projects. Thank you.
Second wish to speak?
Just briefly again, to point out this is a 3-to-1 grant, and so it enables the Shire to leverage other external funds to maintain and improve facilities that we own, in this case, within the Shire. However, Tiny Towns is not limited to only Shire assets, and I understand that there are other community groups within the Shire who may or may not be putting in independent applications, but we understand they will not be in conflict with these 3 that the Shire's happy to endorse.
Anyone else wish to speak? No, I'll just the one thing I just want to point out though, and that is the contribution from the Apsley community as well towards the project. And I say it all the time, when it comes to making grants favourable to the funding bodies, putting your money where your mouth is the best thing you can do. And so well done to the Apsley community, and I really hope that that gives it a positive outcome for that grant application.
Yep.
Just the mover wish to sum up.
No.
Put to the vote then, all in favour. That is carried. For your information, Councillor Hobbs, the motion was carried as recommended. Item 16 on our ceiling schedule, we have 1 item to note. 17 late items of business. Do we have any late items of business? 18, we have no confidential reports. So with no further items on the agenda, the meeting is closed.
1 hour.
1 hour. I thought it was going to be
Whoa, it's exactly 1 hour, 3 o'clock.